Good afternoon. We will be studying Chapter 7, Part 3, Application of Logic. In this session, we'll study the application of logic in science. Before we go to science, we already know that logic is a science of reasoning which distinguishes good reasoning from bad reasoning with certain standards and methods. Logic improves our capacity to think, understand, and reason correctly. It is free from doubts, confusion, superstition, that is blind faith, emotions, false beliefs, or prejudices, and stereotypes, that is widely held fixed ideas or illusions. Logic is a study of truth about truth. It is the foundation of all intellectual pursuits. That is, logic teaches us to go by brain and not by the heart. It helps us to create new ideas, analyze the ideas, and critically evaluate others' ideas. Thus, logic makes a permanent contribution to the life of those who study it. The principles and methods used in logic are never outdated. As in any other subjects taught to you in schools and colleges, it is the foundation of all fields. Now let us see what is science. Science is a systematically organized body of knowledge on a particular subject. That is, science is a systematic study of structure and behavior of physical and natural world through scientific method, that is observation and experiment, and involves intellectual and practical activity. What does a science do? It focuses on natural world, aims to explain the natural world, uses testable ideas, relies on evidence, involves scientific committee, and does continuous research, thus discovers and invents things. Science is born out of man's inherent curiosity to explore and understand the world around him. Science has not reached the present position all of the sudden. There is gradual development. The primitive man observed many things around him, that is, movement of trees and water. He believed that moving is living. Though this is imperfect attempt to deduce the general laws, yet the approach is that of science because it involves reasons. Prehistoric man applied reasons to the satisfaction of his everyday needs. Hence, the history of science begins with the history of technology, that is, observation. The old Stone Age man lived on the flesh of animals he killed. Due to this, he had to observe the habits and forms of animals he hunted. Cave paintings showed that man was observant. When prehistoric men drew paintings of animals, they laid the foundation of descriptive zoology. Second is the classification. The study of plants is as ancient as man himself. As food was gathered early by man, he had to distinguish between edible and poisonous fruits and nuts. He classified them on the basis of the outward appearance and not on the actual taste. From this, we come to know that man's thirst for knowledge is to know true nature of facts. Our understanding of facts, however, need not be always correct. So there is a need to have test, which is done by experiment. The ancient artisans tried various ways of making objects. Thus, he experimented and observed the results. This fulfilled the first requirement of science, but they were not well planned like the scientist. Science accepts the explanation and considers it as correct when it is logical, rational, and based on facts. Science tends to agree to the principles of logical reasoning that connect evidences and assumption with the conclusion. There is relation between scientific thinking and logical thinking, but the relation is one-sided. Scientific thinking follows logical thinking. That is, logic helps science, but science cannot help logic, as logical thinking is wider than scientific thinking. Now let us understand what is scientific method, that is hypothetico-deductive method. This method involves four main stages. Before dealing with these stages, we have to note that these stages represent the ideal pattern, that is the pattern of investigation found in the advanced sciences. Secondly, every investigation does not involve these stages. And thirdly, the importance attached to the different stages varies from investigation to investigation. Let us know what the stages are. The first one is formulation of hypothesis as a tentative solution. When a familiar solution fails to explain the observations, or when new facts cannot be explained by the known laws, or a problem is felt, the scientist puts forward a tentative solution, that is a guess or a temporary attempt to solve the problem, that is called hypothesis. And this attempt to solve the problem tries to explain the puzzling situation. Second stage is collection of additional facts and modification of hypothesis if necessary. You know that a hypothesis is a guess. A scientist has to find out whether his guess is supported by facts. So by using the hypothesis as a guide, he observes new facts which are relevant to the problem. The additional facts that are collected may support his hypothesis. If it supports, then the hypothesis will be accepted as a solution. And if it does not support the hypothesis, then the hypothesis is either modified, that is, the changes are made in it, or a new hypothesis will take its place. But only in rare cases, the very first hypothesis is the correct solution. In more of the cases, number of hypotheses have to be rejected before the correct solution is found. The third stage is deductive development of the hypothesis. That is, after a hypothesis is formulated, the scientist predicts certain observed facts from it. These predictions are the consequences deduced from the hypothesis. All scientific investigations do not involve this stage. Certain kinds of hypotheses can be directly tested. They do not require deductive development. Now we come to the fourth stage, that is testing of hypothesis. A hypothesis is tested by appeal to facts. If the deduced consequences occur, it is said to be confirmed. If they do not occur, then it is said to be disconfirmed. A hypothesis may be tested either by observing facts or by conducting experiments. But whenever the experiments are not possible, it is preferred to simple observation. Science believes that human reasons are supreme. It holds that reason supported by observation can discover laws of nature. Laws of science express relation among phenomena of nature. These laws introduce order among facts of nature. Since different sciences have reached different levels of development, we find different types of order. At the lowest level, we find classificatory laws. At second level, we find laws of causal order. At advanced level, we find laws of science which are expressed mathematically, and at highest level, we find theories. These orders are arrangement of facts which are the result of some plan made on the basis of logical thinking. Theories introduce order among laws which fall within its scope. From theories, laws can be deduced, which in turn explain facts. This shows that science is based on the principle of logic. Technology is just an application of scientific knowledge for practical purpose. Scientific laws, which are derived from scientific theories, are based on logical consequences and predictions. So we have studied in this session how logic is used in science. Thank you.